He was my tutor, but he had a secret life. Part 3. The Unraveling. I didn't know how fast I ran, or how I didn't trip, or how my legs carried me all the way home without giving out. I only knew one thing. He saw me, and not the classroom version of him. The hoodie, the soft voice, the polite nods and careful tutoring.
No.
This was someone else. And that someone had just caught me spying on a secret I was never meant to know. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I locked my bedroom door and curled up on my bed, my thoughts racing in 1,000 directions at once. What had I seen?
A deal?
A drop-off? Adrian dressed like he belonged in some underground spy movie?
Who were those men?
Why was he working with them? And more importantly, what would he do now that he knew I'd followed him? I didn't go to school the next day. Faked a stomach ache. Ignored my mom's suspicious glances. Kept checking my phone, half expecting a message from a number I didn't recognize saying something like, "We warned you." Or worse, "You're next." But nothing came. By the second day, I was restless. I needed answers. And the only person who had them was the same boy I was now too afraid to face. So of course, that's when he showed up. It was just past 5 p.m. I was still in pajamas when I heard a knock at the front door. Not the bell, just one soft knock. I peeked through the peephole. Adrian, standing there like nothing had happened, hoodie on, hands in his pockets, hair slightly windblown. I opened the door an inch. He didn't say anything at first.
Just looked at me.
I could barely hear my voice when I spoke. "Why are you here?" "You skipped 2 sessions." "That's what you're worried about." He didn't answer. I opened the door a little more, just enough to see his face clearly. There were dark circles under his eyes. He looked tired, like someone who hadn't slept in days. "Can I come in?" he asked quietly. I hesitated, then nodded. We sat at the kitchen table in silence. The same table where I used to do homework and complain about math. The same table where Adrian had patiently explained functions and graphs. Only this time, the tension was suffocating. "I saw you," I said finally. He nodded. "I know. You were dealing with what? Criminals?" He looked down at his hands. "Not exactly." "Then what?" He leaned back, exhaled, and stared at the ceiling for a moment. Then finally he spoke. "My brother got in too deep," he said. "A few years ago. Started coding for people he shouldn't have. Hacking small stuff, retail systems, databases, nothing major at first. But word spreads fast in the wrong circles." My heart pounded. "And you're involved?" I didn't have a choice. When he got caught up, they came after our family. Said we owed them. Said we needed to keep the work going.
He looked at me.
I was good at it. Better than he was. They figured that out quickly. I blinked. "So what? You're hacking for criminals?" "Information," he said. "Data theft. Money laundering setups. Message drops. They use me to get into places they don't want traced." "That's illegal, Adrian." He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You think I don't know that?" I stood up, pacing the room, trying to breathe. "So you've been lying to everyone," I said. "This whole time." "I didn't want to lie to you," he said softly. I stopped.
Turned to look at him.
"Then why did you?" He didn't answer. He didn't have to. After he left, I sat on my bed for a long time, replaying everything in my head. Adrian North, the quiet boy who tutored me in math, was working for criminals to protect his family. The burner phone, the encrypted messages, the man in the suit. It all made sense now, and somehow made even less sense at the same time. But there was one thing I couldn't get out of my head. He didn't want to lie to me. There was something real in the way he'd said that. Like the version of him I'd seen in the library, the version that actually cared, was still there, buried under all the secrets and shadows. I should have stayed away. I should have forgotten everything and walked away like any sane person would. But instead, I went back to school the next day. I walked into the library at 3:45 p.m. and sat at our usual table. And he was already there, waiting. We didn't talk about what he'd said. We just opened the math book and pretended to be normal. But something between us had shifted. It was subtle at first. The way he looked at me longer than usual. The way he seemed more careful, more protective. The way our hands brushed when we reached for the same pen, and neither of us pulled away. But there was still danger. I could feel it pressing in on the edges of our little bubble. And then it burst. It happened on a Friday afternoon. I was heading out to the parking lot when I saw something shiny on the ground next to my car. I bent down. A phone. Not mine. Adrian's. The burner. And taped to the back of it, a sticky note. Watch yourself.